Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. There's a lot of news today. It's actually kind of insane. This actually still isn't even all of it. I'm trying to pace myself because it's just really a lot. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into it. A Bitcoin exchange traded fund, or an ETF, is not going to happen in the event of a protracted U.S. government shutdown. That was the position of securities lawyer and frequent cryptocurrency commentator. His name is Jake Chervinsky. This week, in the face of mounting rumors that the long-awaited instrument could go public, after President Donald Trump hinted the ongoing impasse of funds to build the Mexico border wall could last or months or even years, pundits suggested an ensuing lack of regulatory power could cause the ETF to be approved by default. Bitcoin advocates have long desired an ETF approval, many arguing that trading would significantly boost the cryptocurrency's public profile. Others, such as Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin, have argued against its introduction but conceded it would be inevitable. For Chervinsky, however, any hype around a change of regulatory course arising from the shutdown was erroneous. He said not going to happen. He replied on social media when asked about the rumors. Elsewhere, he went further along, adding, "It's true that a proposed rule change is auto-approved if the SEC doesn't make a decision by the deadline. But in reality, it would never happen. The SEC has enough staff to put out a decision, even if it's on a one paper saying denied for reasons to be explained later." So I've been seeing an enormous amount of hype around this. As far as everyone has been waiting, a large number of people have been waiting for a Bitcoin ETF, an exchange-traded fund, simply because it is the belief that when we have an ETF that is attached to the name Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency in the cryptocurrency space, this will give legitimacy to the entire sector, because the institutional investors, the people who are desperately or maybe desperately sitting on the sidelines with potentially billions, if not trillions, air quotes, of dollars, they're looking for legitimacy in the cryptocurrency space, in that they're looking for the things that they used to deal with in traditional finance, but with cryptocurrencies attached to them. So with the U.S. government being shut down and potentially the idea that it could last months or years, I don't know how life would continue. It appears that there's like a weird, not loophole, but something that people have been saying, and I've been hearing this, but I've shut out the noise, that in the case of a continued or prolonged shutdown of the U.S. government, that there would be an auto approval of an ETF. However, I wholeheartedly agree with exactly what he's saying. The SEC, while there are, I believe, like 5 people who are in the decision-making process, the SEC does have the legal right to simply put out something saying, oh, denied for reasons to be explained later. They can simply say, we haven't yet decided. There is not enough recourse. We don't have so and so and so. Give us a bit more time because of X, Y, and Z. And I mean this realistically, as far as everything has been going so far. Any hopes you might have of a Bitcoin ETF, smash it as far as you can into the ground. Don't believe any of the hype, none of it, until we actually get actual approval and actual word from the SEC that we're going to have an ETF, 100% definitely. Don't believe anything else. Everything else is bad for the market, because people will start to believe hype is happening, and then everyone will start to FOMO into the market. And for some reason, when we get to that date, which is supposed to be in February, if I'm not mistaken, and we get a no once again, every single ETF over the course of a 4-year period, that is just over 1,400 days, every single one has been knocked out. Don't think that because even there's a government shutdown, especially because there's a government shutdown, that the odds of us getting any type of ETF approved, keep that number at 0 in your head so you do not get flushed into the idea that this is potentially going to happen. I said this before and I'll say it again. One of the weirdest things that I've experienced over the last couple of years, especially when you look back at like the beginning stages of crypto and it's starting to be accepted, going all the way back to before we even had the Bit license in New York City. I believed for a very long time that the US was going to completely dominate crypto. I was wrong on every single front. It's very weird that they're allowing this to kind of happen to their country. I mean, maybe it's because I believe so much in crypto that I believe that a lot of this could be a mistake. I could be completely wrong. Crypto could be completely go down to zero tomorrow. It's not, but you get what I'm saying. I think a lot of people don't see the larger picture. I think a lot of people are very comfortable in where they are right now, that they don't see that there's even more money to be made. To tie in completely with exactly what I was just saying, while the US may not be doing as much as they can to become a crypto leader, that's not to mistake the entirety of the US. There are definitely a huge amount of people in the United States who are trying to do what they can to become a crypto powerhouse country, if you will. This doesn't seem to be echoed by the entirety of the United States. And I've said before, especially over the last 6-7 months, I think that the US is going to lose a lot of ground. And this kind of, once again, ties into this conversation that we're about to have right now. So, the approval of a bona fide Bitcoin exchange traded fund in the United States, one of the cryptocurrency industry's most important markets worldwide, has long been a chaotic dream for optimists in the crypto sphere. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has long been against approving such a financial vehicle, as the entity believes cryptocurrencies are too nascent. There's a lack of sufficient volume and manipulation concerns and limited surveillance to support such an offering. Case in point, time and time again, the body has either delayed rulings on crypto-centric ETF requests or flat out denied applications. Winklevoss twin so-and-so says, however, per a recent piece from Bloomberg, which cited those familiar with the matter, Japan's Financial Services Agency, or the FSA, may be looking into approving Bitcoin ETF proposals. The anonymous source claimed that the Asian nation's SEC equivalent has abandoned plans to allow crypto-related derivatives like physically backed futures, such as Bakkt, from trading in Japan, but is looking into ETFs instead. The FSA's deferral of allowing derivatives may be seen as bearish, especially considering the purported power in physically backed Bitcoin futures and similar non-paper instruments. Yet some critics would argue that this regulatory action could be a net positive for the industry, as tinfoil hatters believe that paper futures, like those based on the CME and CBOE, actually deflated the value of Bitcoin instead of pushing it much higher. Point is, the rest of the world, this is not the only news that we have that's like this, where other countries in the world are now considering starting their own ETFs. We had Sweden before, a couple of months ago, which started their own ETN. Was it ETP? ET something. It's something very similar to an ETF that they allowed, obviously, in their country, and also had denominated it in US dollars for those who remember that actually happening. And then US investors started investing their money into that thing, which is in Sweden. And then the SEC came forward a week later because they realized exactly what was going on. And they, I think they somehow, I can't remember the exact specifications, but they stopped US investors from actually being able to invest in something else because they kept on not approving it. And my entire thing was, I was like, if you keep shutting your doors to everyone and don't allow people to do things, they will eventually look for it somewhere else. That's just kind of how life is. So now we have news that Japan could potentially be doing this. And same as, I mean, with the non-physical Bitcoin futures and stuff like that, this was definitely something that a very few people in the industry actually said would be a bad thing, and they were completely correct, simply because we've been seeing that as we continue to have Bitcoin futures and other Bitcoin futures are approved and stuff like that, crypto futures, what have you, and they're not linked to actual physical cryptocurrencies, i.e. when the contract is finished, these people aren't paid out in cryptocurrencies, they're paid out in fiat currencies. This has also been very negative. On top of this story as well, we also have news that, scrolling down a little bit, there we go, CoinFloor-X, a unit of the United Kingdom cryptocurrency exchange known as CoinFloor, has reorganized to offer trading of physical Bitcoin futures on the Asian market. The CEO of the company has revealed in an interview with Bloomberg on the 7th of January, that is today. The rebranded CoinFlex, short for Coin Futures and Lending Exchange, is reportedly owned by a consortium that includes Roger Ver, who used to be for Bitcoin and now is obsessed with Bitcoin Cash. The consortium behind CoinFlex also includes another early investor known as Mike Komaransky, never heard of him, United States investment banking firm Dragonfly Capital, a partner company of United Kingdom crypto platform CoinShares, and others, according to Bloomberg. The new venture will be based in Hong Kong and headed by Mark Lamb, CoinFloor's co-founder. It will offer Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum futures contracts to retail investors based in Asia starting in February. In the interview with Bloomberg, Lam said that all of the company's futures will be physically delivered. As soon as a contract expires, the customers will be given the underlying cryptocurrency instead of a cash payment. Bloomberg highlights this as an important distinction in the largely unregulated cryptocurrency markets. Bloomberg, please have a seat. No one cares about the largely unregulated crypto markets. What's important here is that I don't do this often. I don't know if he was directly responsible for this, but tipping my hat towards Roger Ver for actually being a part of this and actually, I guess in a way, acknowledging that Bitcoin is its own coin and that Bitcoin Cash is its own coin. That aside, this is going to launch, once again, this is exactly what I mean. While for some reason the U.S. is taking their time, the U.S. could have dominated. The U.S. at the beginning of 2018 could have had one of the most structured cryptocurrency places, regulations in place that made them a complete leader in the space. They could have gotten money from all around the world and told people to simply come to their country and boost up their economy even further. Lo and behold, it doesn't work that way. So now we have a situation where other people around the world are launching physical Bitcoin futures, which are incredibly important because I don't know the exact time frame for how often these will be settled. With the one that we saw before from the CBOE is that they're like every 3 to 4 months. And by the time we get to the end of a physical Bitcoin, or rather a non-physical Bitcoin futures, the price of the cryptocurrency tends to always tank as it's getting near it and then kind of shoots up after like the relief of it being over. But this is a constant thing that we've been seeing over and over and is not very healthy for the market because it means that there's a direct, or not even indirect, it's a direct correlation to the price of the futures contracts ending, and that's not good. We need Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum and everything else to have its own kind of sway in the market, to not be concerned with the futures contracts that are happening on the side, because that is not the point of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, to kind of rely on futures contracts to end. We also have the potential that Japan is also considering crypto ETFs. Some other country is going to announce this, and I say it's going to happen within the next 2 months. My hopes for a Bitcoin ETF from the US, zero. I have zero. I mean, 1,400 days is a very long time to continuously say no to something. It does not take that long to approve something, to say that certain things have to be put in place, and then to execute those placements to be able to have a Bitcoin ETF or any other ETF that you may be trying to launch, not even cryptocurrency related. It doesn't take 1,400 days. Within the next 2 months, we have something similar right here. Like even just a physical Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum futures is incredibly large, especially because they're physical. Some other country in the next 2 months is going to announce something where they're launching an ETF, and that'll, what's it saying, like light a fire under the US. If this government shutdown lasts for months, I mean, go for it. I've been of the mindset for quite some time. The US is completely out of the running. I wish that they would kind of get it together so that we could all move together as a people. But that is not how life works, apparently. But yeah, very interesting, very, very interesting news. And let us move on. Next up, Binance is in the news. Binance Lab in this new year has come up with opportunities to reach wider mass of crypto lovers by its upcoming incubation program. A global setting. A global setting across a number of countries is on the cards on the program. Binance Labs functions as a funding initiative to invest in blockchain-based projects and boost the cryptocurrency entrepreneurs to cement their footing in the space. The international locations for the next incubation programs are Lagos, Berlin, Buenos Aires, San Francisco, Hong Kong, and Singapore, across 5 different continents, including Africa, Europe, South America, North America, and at least 2 in Asia. The labs envisions to support the fresh business teams to take off their projects. For their projects to take off, that's written very oddly. As the official page reads, it is the strongest network of builders in blockchain that has an objective of improving the cryptocurrency ecosystem by resolving the issues related to it. I'm not going to even read any further. It's not super imperative that I read the rest of it. But Binance wins on like every front. At least to my knowledge, there is no indication that Coinbase has launched any multiple incubation programs allowing funding for other people to be able to start up their programs and stuff like that. Binance is, I can only imagine how large Binance is going to become by the end of this year. Everything that they're doing is just absolutely fantastic. I have no idea who their head of public relations is or anything. I don't know who is behind the scenes, but everything that they're doing is absolutely incredible. Announcing that you're going to have like incubation programs to be able to help other startups build themselves up. And I can only assume a lot of these maybe will potentially lead to like the opening of Binance in like other countries, as in like they have their own physical office to be able to deal with regulators and or what have you. Incredibly fascinating. Binance just keeps winning. It's kind of ridiculous. And I mean, it's not even that difficult. Like the team behind Binance has been around for like a year and they just, whatever. Binance is awesome. Next up, according to the Financial Stability Board, or the FSB, cryptocurrencies do not pose threats to the world economy or financial stability. The FSB is an international body with 20 members that are also part of the G20. The announcement made by the FSB could play an important role in countries where governments have taken hard measures against virtual currencies. During 2018, virtual currencies have been in a bear market. Wow. This has raised concerns among analysts that are worried about the effects that these assets could have on the global financial stability. As we enter into 2019, cryptocurrencies seem to have been receiving good news from the FSB. According to the report released by Quartz, the FSB considers that virtual currencies are not a threat to the world economy. The FSB was established back in 2009 after the financial crisis that affected the whole world. Finance ministers and central banks from the G20 are active FSB participants. This information released by the FSB could change the decision taken in some countries to go behind virtual currencies. For example, India has decided to regulate the market and persuade companies not to start crypto-related businesses in the country. In the United States, the situation is different. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, has been trying to take a more active approach to regulate ICOs. In general, most of them can be considered illegal security offerings. This is the second thing that we've had over the last day or two where another organization, entity, whatever you kind of want to call it. The other one that we had was from, my goodness, what was it? I can't remember the country. Was it India? No, it wasn't India. It was some country, somewhere in the world, some other country announced that cryptocurrencies were not a threat. I think it was India. I believe it was India. And they said, yep, it was India. I'm pretty sure it was India. And they were saying that there's not a threat right now, but they could potentially be in the future. When you have the Financial Stability Board releasing a notice that cryptocurrencies do not pose a threat, it is, and I said this in the other one and I'll say it once again, you only mention something negatively when it's not a threat to you, but like in this situation, if you are in control of the current financial system that the world abides by, you release something and you do research and you have other people do research to understand if these things are a threat, because in some way they are a threat to you. And this is why you feel the need to fund things like this, to see if they are a threat to your richness, your likelihood of staying rich, whatever you kind of want to say. Crypto's very close to achieving something, and it's something well beyond mass adoption. Once again, this is all, crypto will have a very bright future if Bitcoin passes by $50,000 this year. A $50,000 Bitcoin, and the easiest way to kind of sum it up is when Bitcoin hit 20,000, the entire market was around 800 billion. If Bitcoin gets to around a 40,000 per coin, because altcoins tend to sometimes outperform Bitcoin when it's going up, we will have over $1 trillion market. There are very few things in this world that are worth $1 billion, $100 billion, and even fewer that are worth $1 trillion. This would be the moment, and especially if we can get to $1 trillion and kind of stabilize and continue to move up even slowly, this will be the moment where I believe that a lot of countries will start coming forward and they will actively fight against cryptocurrencies. But I think at that point, we should be okay. Just my kind of opinion. We're going to see a lot more stories like this. And I think there's going to be a very different narrative once we pass by the big 1T. That's going to be a very big day for everybody. Next up, I saw this floating around all over the place. Popular cryptocurrency hardware wallet known as Ledger has revealed its latest device called the Ledger Nano X. The new device's most characteristic new capability is that it will enable users to use Bluetooth to connect their mobile devices via the new Ledger Live mobile app. The popular manufacturer of cryptocurrency hardware wallet known as Ledger has revealed its latest project on Sunday at the CES conference. It's called the Ledger Nano X. Here's a video. Cannot play that because of copyright laws. The new device supports up to 100 currencies, cryptocurrencies, which is a notable increase compared to the Ledger Nano S. It also features a larger screen. The most notable new feature, however, is the fact that users will be able to connect the wallet to mobile devices using the Ledger Live mobile app. The goal of the company is to increase mobility, as hardware wallets typically connect over USB, which isn't exactly mobile friendly. The Ledger Nano X cost $119, is already available for pre-order on the company's official website. Shipping is set to start in March. Side note, this is not paid advertising. Second side note, I do, however, have an affiliate link in the description below, as I am typically, one could say like a Ledger affiliate partner, if you kind of want to say that, but this is all over the place, so I had to talk about it. A lot of people like this. A lot of people like the idea that there's now a mobile app and that you can connect it via Bluetooth. Crypto world's moving forward. I like Ledger. I use Ledger. Have been using them for quite some time. I think they're secure. As always, make sure to do your own research before buying anything. Figure out if you like the idea of cold storage and if cold storage is for you, and if Ledger is also for you. Don't simply rush into buying something, even though Ledgers are pretty cool, I won't lie. To kind of finish things off, there we go. Crypto traders and enthusiasts have waited since May last year for the NASDAQ-powered exchange known as DX Exchange to go live. News of the exchanges first hit the cryptoverse during last year's consensus event in New York. DX Exchange was initially meant to feature trading of the top 6 coins. They are Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin Cash, EOS, and Litecoin. However, a January 3rd report by Bloomberg informed the crypto and investor communities that DX Exchange will also allow users to trade shares belonging to companies such as Apple, Facebook, Tesla, Microsoft, Amazon, Netflix, Descartes System Group, Baidu, Intel, and NVIDIA. Each unit of the digital security token will be backed by regular shares of the company at a 1-to-1 ratio. Such an arrangement will be similar to buying stocks through other large traditional platforms such as TD Ameritrade. The difference this time around will be that the stocks will be represented by tokens on the Ethereum blockchain. We spoke about this. It had to be about 2 days ago. Yeah, somewhere. No, it had to be the 5th. It was actually 2 days ago. Where pretty much the news was is that this exchange called the DX Exchange, which is powered by NASDAQ, and I can only assume are funded in some sort of way by NASDAQ, and therefore they are NASDAQ affiliated. This is why it is very big news. That NASDAQ-powered exchange would have these 6 cryptocurrencies on their platform for trading, which is already completely insane because it has the NASDAQ name completely next to it. And then also we had news 2 days ago that they were pretty much what it comes down to is that DX Exchange will allow you to buy these stocks, Apple, Facebook, Tesla, Microsoft, so-and-so, blah, 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 and they will give you the equivalent of an ERC20 token from the Ethereum blockchain as if you were holding the stock, but your stock will be digitized. Incredibly cool. It apparently, wait, where is it? Here we go. It is with the background that the team at DX Exchange announced via Twitter that the exchange will be going live today, the 7th of January. The tweet did not give an exact time for the launch, and it can be found below. Here's the actual tweet. So completely insane. It seems to be a surprise for everyone. They have officially launched. There is now a cryptocurrency exchange where you can also buy stocks in digital form. I think you're also able to actually buy these stocks as well with cryptocurrencies, which is completely even crazier. I was going to say if someone else has used this, let everyone else know. I mean, it's completely insane. I think I will check out the platform for myself. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to buy any stocks because I don't, me myself, typically care for stocks. I care for the great returns that you can get with cryptocurrencies. But another new exchange does kind of seem very interesting. I'll see exactly how they perform, especially as they are listing XRP and EOS, which is something that we have kind of yet to see from many other cryptocurrency exchanges, especially ones that are powered by the NASDAQ or that are NASDAQ affiliated, which then leads me to the exact same conversation that we were having about a day or two ago, where I think it was the New York Stock Exchange, where they announced that that they are probably going to also list the top 10 or top 20 coins onto their platform because they see no reason why they shouldn't be adding every single coin that's in the top. Very interesting, like I said, and this isn't, and I mean it, there's so much more news. I'm trying not to have like super lengthy news videos all in one go, especially since it's the weekday, or it is a weekday. Anyway, that is definitely going to do it for this video. Incredibly good news across the board. Even despite this, it shows that they are paying attention to cryptocurrencies. I'm pretty sure they own cryptocurrencies, allegedly. Just my opinion. I mean, I was chatting with someone before about this, and I was like, there's so many bankers and institutions who keep talking not negatively about cryptocurrencies, but they'll put out reports and stuff like this. And I can only assume, when you're worth a couple billion, there are probably situations where these people are taking $250,000 and buying up as much crypto as they think is relevant, just to be sure that they have some on the side. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's absolutely fantastic. The future of crypto is incredibly bright. It may not be as bright in certain countries as I wish that it would have been. However, the rest of the world will continue to move forward. And yeah, crypto is going to be, I think we're still going to have a very great 2019. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. See you.